This conference will now be recorded.
And I also forgot, is Desiree on?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to welcome everybody to our February 4th, 2021 Town Board meeting, which is a virtual go-to meeting. I'm going to ask that we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. We've got a public hearing today. Introductory local law number 1 of 2021 entitled Removal of Utility Poles. Desiree, do you need to read it again?
I can if you'd like to.
Please.
A public hearing is being continued from the January 21st, 2021 meeting on Introductory Local Law 1 of 2021, which will create a new Chapter 249 of the Town Code entitled Removal of Utility Poles, requiring utility companies to remove inactive, broken, or replace utility poles within the town.
Okay. Is anybody even on?
There's two. Maria
Yes.
has on, and there's someone unidentified as X.
Okay, they need to identify themselves if they want to come on. Anybody got anything to say about the town's local law?
Is this for the public?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to say thank you to Clara for getting that law up on the website, and I did review it and it answered some of my questions. So thank you for getting it on the website.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, if nobody else has anything to say on the town law, I will make a motion to close the hearing.
Mr. Supervisor, before you do that,
Okay,
we had a conversation this afternoon.
correct.
And I was, reviewing the draft local law for the meeting. I did send out a very brief email late in the afternoon. I suggested clarifying one portion of the local law by clarifying that the utility companies, when they intend to erect a pole within the town, that they give us both written notice and notify us electronically through the Public Service Commission. So that's a change of 4 words to include the words both written notification, both written and notification.
And where is that exactly, Joe, on the law?
That is in section 3. And I did submit it. And by the way, these are just very minor. It's a minor clarification. That is in section 3, the last sentence. And then I had also indicated to the board as I went through the various sections that there were 2. Generally, it's a 30-day criteria, 30 days for the top unit to come down, 30 days for the next. So to make it consistent, there were 2 locations, one in 4C and one in 6B, that had different timeframes. So I would suggest just keeping all the timeframes 30 days. This way, there's consistency throughout the law. There is not an exception, but a separate rule for dangerous poles, and they have to be removed within 15 days. So I would just suggest to the board that they consider approving those changes. I don't know if the board intends to take action tonight or not, but to consider that. They are just clarifications. There's really not substantive changes to the law. they would not require either an extended public hearing or a new public hearing.
Okay, I did have a conversation with someone that I know in public relations at O&R today. And he told me that they have, I don't know what I did with the first page, but it's around here somewhere. But anyway, that I need to get in touch with Michael Grant and I think it's Eric Fuentes, which I have today. Sent them an email requesting to set up a meeting with the town so that we can get together and talk. And my suggestion would be me and Tyler, along with Joe McKay, and to just sit down and work with them, because they have been working for quite some time now with municipalities on the way to get these things done, and that they are more than willing to work with us. Because I had mentioned that we have poles in town that there's nothing attached to them. They're just there, and they will work to remove them with us. But I would recommend that we close the hearing. Let us go meet with Orange and Rockland and show them the law that we're proposing and how they can help us to either make it better or to make it workable with them and everybody else. According to them, they do notify the phone companies, and they do notify the cable. It is their opinion that phone companies are having less and less demand on their phone lines, because most people are doing cell phones now. People are getting rid of their home phones, and so therefore they don't care. They don't do anything about it. So this is why I'd like to meet with them and see how we can work together rather than fighting and trying to do this, the hard way. Let's do it the easy way. So with that, I'd make a motion that we close the hearing and give me and Tyler an opportunity to meet with them. And we'll come back and finalize the law if anything needs to be changed. So I need a second.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Desiree, anybody got anything to say? I'm sorry. You okay? All right.
I can just say, Mr. Supervisor, that I've worked with both Orange and Rockland and Central Hudson. They have very, very different perspectives, but in the past times that we've done this, and in one municipality, they ended up not adopting the law. One they did, one they did not, but they both had very good results after sitting down and meeting with Orange and Rockland. So
good. That's what I'm hoping for. So we got a motion, we got a second. No more discussion. Desiree, can you please do the roll call?
I can. There's also a lot of feedback going on. I don't know if everybody else hears that or just me, but Supervisor Palermo,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Yes.
Councilman Etzel,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Hunter.
Yes.
Okay. The closing of that meeting. Let's move on to our anyone with public input out there.
Maria Hunter,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yep.
I agree with Desiree. First of all, there is a lot of feedback, and I've noticed on the participants, a lot of people's microphones are on, they're not muted. So I know there's background noise coming from somewhere. But I'm concerned about is different properties in Woodbury. How is the town board notified when properties become wholly tax exempt? I mean, entirely tax exempt and taken off the tax rolls. I know the assessor's office has that job to do that. But does she let the town board know? One case in point, I just recently found out that there's a property, it's in a residential area, and now it's I forget what a health facility. It's in Woodbury, and it was taken off the tax rolls. I'm just curious as to how is the town board made aware when the assessor removes properties off the tax roll? Because if you keep doing that and you're not aware of it, the tax burden is spread on us who are paying taxes. I find that troubling because I'm not sure how many properties we have that are recently in the last year, 2, 3 years that have come off the tax rolls. And I think that's something that the town board should look into, because you try to keep the taxes as low as possible, but if you keep taking properties off the tax roll, someone has to assume those taxes. And it's just a concern of mine because I've just noticed it because someone brought it to my attention. So I mean, I can give you the information of the house and everything, but I don't want to do it publicly. I would do it privately, so I don't want to offend anybody. But thank you for listening.
Well, Maria, I would ask you to send me an email with that piece of property, and I will go down and see the assessor tomorrow. As far as I know, people asking for special exemptions, it needs to be approved by the town board as well. I don't think you can just exempt something. And Joe, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And I will talk to the assessor about that. As far as I know, there hasn't been anything taken off the rolls. If it's a legitimate reason to come off, if it's zoned by the village has the right, I guess, in the village to allow like religious institutions. Those things all go through the village planning board. It just doesn't get exempt because the assessor decides to exempt it. It's definitely going through a process, which I will speak to her tomorrow if, in fact, the village has been allowing certain properties to become exempt. I don't think, Joe, that you can just arbitrarily make something exempt. Is that correct?
Well, no, of course it can't be arbitrary. There are two different procedures. If another municipality owns property in the town or in the village, and that municipality wants an exemption, it's usually a water or sewer property or utility property. They come to the town board and seek an exemption in that sense. But the assessor does have the ability, if a new church is opened within the town or the village, or some other property which clearly falls into a classification where it can be tax exempt, the assessor has the authority to provide the exemption. That's her role.
Okay, so I will go down and meet with Julie tomorrow, and we will have this discussion as to whether or not it can be done or not. Clara, can you please mute everybody else? You don't have to listen to somebody sipping on a cup or something.
All right, thank you so much, Supervisor Planero. I'm just not aware of this particular property going before the planning board to become a health facility, which is also troubling if that is the case. But I'll send you the information via email so that you have it. But thank you for looking into it.
I will, first thing tomorrow, no problem.
Frank, also part of your budget, there is a exemption report that's included every year at the preliminary budget preparation.
Correct.
And that exempt report will show you the list of properties that are exempt.
Okay, I'll get that also.
Can I just,
Jackie?
yeah, I just want to weigh on that. I actually spent about an hour in the assessor's office today talking about areas of concern. And I know the assessor did share with me that that she actually had concern with the number of people that were challenging the value of their homes. So I know she's extremely conscious of the fact that there are these moves to bring down the value, and she actually shared, like I said, for an hour, shared numerous different examples of houses that are being challenged for their value right now. and the amount of work that she's putting into to challenge these, because she believes that the properties are valued where they need to be valued, and that in some cases the hearing officer is actually still granting they're still granting it even though she's disputing it. So I think it's probably a lot more complicated than what we may see on the outside. But Maria, thank you for bringing that to attention, because again, these are the things that we need to monitor as far as the value of the property in our community, the challenges that the assessor office is experiencing, and she is looking for the support. A lot of the times, when she goes to these hearings, she stated that they want to settle, so they're looking constantly for, all right, well, what are you going to give us? And when she stands on a firm no, they want to threaten to continue with legal, which will require legal fees. And that was actually a conversation that she wanted to have with the board in regards to, how far can she push it to stand behind the value, so that the value of the properties aren't going down, and neighbor residents, Woodbury residents, are not bearing the brunt of people who are trying to, get, haggle their assessment so that they can lower it and then sell it for more money. So she is very concerned about that. And like I said, I spoke with her today at length, and she is very much aware that it's important for her to maintain that hard line on the value of our property.
I know that in talks with her recently, the state comes in every 5 years to assess certain major properties, and she's having a very hard time with the Woodbury Commons because they are completely undervaluating what the Woodbury Commons is worth, and she's fighting with them on that also. And I'm sure that that is a major concern of what you're talking about with that. As far as the other end, every year in May, people come before us. They legally have the right to challenge their assessments, and that's the time to do it. Not just come in at any time and say, "I want to lower my things," or "We're going to threaten you." As a town, I don't think that we should concern ourselves with that right now. If they do, they do. It's their God-given legal right to do it. So if they do, they do. I think her major concern with what you may have been talking to about is the state coming in and trying to do their own assessment of what the Woodbury Commons is worth. And it's way under what is being done now. So
she had a meeting with the guy yesterday afternoon. I saw her earlier in the day or the day before, and he was coming around. When he came back, his assessment was much closer to hers than it had been in the beginning. So they were
good.
coming around to see what the value was. But I think she mentioned to me there was a judge that was just ruling in favor of the homeowners all the time at a much lower rate, and that concerned her as to, and it was even lower than what they would have agreed upon originally. So that was her concern, that do you try to settle it before it goes before this judge, or do we continue to go before this judge? But he seems to have changed his ways into dramatically lowering the assessment. But better to get that firsthand knowledge from her. Exactly.
That was the same conversation I had, Tyler. It was with the residential homes. It wasn't with the commons. It was the residential homes that she's had numerous, and there's a specific company that comes out of Long Island. He comes out, there's been tons of false flyers going around where they make claims they can lower your taxes by a significant amount and raise the value. And so people are coming in the droves, and it's creating havoc for her. So she said, I don't mind if you want me to assess it, but she's getting people doing it every year, like assess it again, And she said, even with now the market being so high, she's still getting people wanting them to lower it. So there's a lot of challenges. And of course, there's a lot of companies that are trying to take advantage of this situation, but it was residential homes. It wasn't with the commons.
Okay, Joe, maybe you give her a call tomorrow as well.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. You know, it's always a fine line. I think what the assessor and Jackie are speaking about are these SCAR petitions, the small claim
Yeah,
assessment reviews
yeah.
for the single family homes. And Frank, you're right. People come in, everybody, look, who wants to pay more taxes, right? So people come in and they challenge their assessment. We understand that. And normally the attorneys don't appear at those small claim hearings. The assessor goes by herself or himself because, of course, having the law firm there for half a day or a day, you know, almost, you know, could be counterproductive, right? You want to hold the line on certain assessments, but you don't. But there's a cap at how much money you can spend to do that. So, you know, certainly I'll speak with the assessor, and I'll talk to the board. I would imagine there should be a way I can probably help her, maybe help her prepare for the hearings. It doesn't sound like the issue is necessarily what she's saying or her preparation. And I have heard this not just going on in the town of Woodbury, but I've heard it now from other, yeah, in other
Municipality.
municipalities in Orange County. And there are a couple, one judicial hearing officer in particular that I've now heard several times is very much pro pro property owner, and I've heard some complaints about one of the JHOs. But that being said, I can certainly speak to Julie, give her whatever help she needs. And I understand, I have had a discussion with Julie before. You know, very often someone will come in to reduce their assessment, and if they're in a development and there are 6 or 7 or 10 other homes almost identical to that home, there's only, even if she wants to be flexible and accommodating, there's only so much flexibility you can have because 5 other homes will then come right in after that resident to reduce their assessment. So, you know, she's in a tough spot from that perspective. But sure, I'll give Julie a call and whatever help we can give her, we will.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
And if I can,
Uh,
sorry, can I just mention, I've heard this discussion now at 1 or 2 meetings about someone coming in concerning the assessment for the common. I've never seen, you know, any paperwork or an email. I'd like to get a little more information about what's going on with that.
no, speak to Julie. She'll, you know, it's like every 5 years she says they come in. And like she said, she's fighting them and doing what she can do, and maybe just give her a call. Maybe she can use it.
I'll speak to her.
You got it. Is there anybody else out there for public comment? Okay, let's move on. Okay, we're ready for our administrative business. I need a motion and a second to accept the minutes of January 21st, 2021.
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Second,
second that.
thank you, Bob. Desiree, please.
Supervisor Palermo,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Yes.
Councilman Etzel,
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez,
I'm going to abstain.
Councilman Hunter.
Yes.
Okay, Jackie abstained, Desiree. Okay,
Yes, I figured she would.
okay. I need a motion and a second for the approval of abstract number 3. Desiree, please.
Abstract number 3 contains vouchers 210111 through 210165 and totals $90,345.88.
Okay. I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Bob. Desiree, please.
Supervisor Palermo,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Yes.
Councilman Etzel,
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez, Councilman Hunter.
Yes.
Okay. I can see we're a little behind here on some of these things. Okay, budget modifications, Desiree. Please.
Yeah, okay, sure. So for the 2020 budget, this is so long. Okay, for the general fund, increasing A 1110.412 Justice Court postage by $7. A 1110.411 Justice Court office supplies by $5. A 1220.404 supervisors outsourced payroll by $345. A 1220.405 CPA by $1,071, a 1330.400 tax collector contractual expenses by $456, a 1620.406 paint by $279, a 1620.429 municipal building lease by $396, a 1650.400 central communications cable by $2,565, a 1680.401 subscription service for Microsoft, $208. Well, I think someone's banging around out there. A 1690.400 security system townwide by $16, a 1920.400 municipal association dues by $50, a 3510.405 dog and cat supplies by $273, a 3510.466 ACO expenditures from donation account by $982, a 4020.100 registrar personnel services by $10, a 7110.444 parks, schools, and dues by $181, a 7110.448 parks miscellaneous by $32, a 9060.801 HRA MVP by $4,027, a 2706 animal control donations by $982, and decreasing a 1110.430 justice transportation and travel by $12, a 1220.200 supervisors equipment by $1,071, a 1220.411 supervisors office supplies by $345, a 1330.100 tax collector personnel services by $456, a 1620.444 buildings, grounds, schools, and dues by $396, a 1640.400 central garage by $3,118, a 3510.444 ACO school and dues by $273, a 4989.400 other health, other drug testing by $10, a 7110.454 parks advertising by $213, a 9060.800 health insurance by $4,207. For the library, increasing L 7410.402 electric by $500, L 7410.411 office supplies by $310, L 7410.464 equipment maintenance by $1,300, L 7410.465 processing supplies by $100, and decreasing L 7410.403 heating, oil, and gas by $500, L 7410.435 books by $410, L 7410.200 equipment by $1,300. And again for the general fund by increasing a 1420.400 attorney by $57,000, a 1420.417 attorney HLE litigation by $20,000, a 1420.418 attorney ELT NAPARA by $103,000, a 599 appropriated fund balance by $112,000, and decreasing a 1420.14 attorney litigation by $68,000. And then the following for the 2021 budget: Woodbury Common BID increasing SMB 3120.100 police personnel services by $64,615, and decreasing SMB 3120.101 officer full-time by $46,305, SMB 3120.102 police officers K9. General fund increasing a 1680.400 central data processing / IT consultant by $500, and increasing a 599 appropriate fund balance by $500. And lastly, the police department by increasing B 3120.101 compensated absences by $24,072, and decreasing B 3120.100 dispatcher compensated absences by $24,072. Bingo.
That's right.
Yeah,
You
you want me to repeat it?
Yeah, you said it really fast.
I know. I wish we could just say, as presented, but
I missed one or two of those in the beginning, Desiree. Can you start over again?
yeah.
Well,
Yep. You have it in front of you, so you're good.
I want to thank you, Desiree. I was able to warm up my coffee and pour a new cup.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We heard the banging.
Oh, God, it's painful. Sorry, Desiree. That was
That's
painful.
okay.
All right. I need someone to make a motion and someone to make a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Well, Desiree, please.
Sure. Supervisor Palermo,
Yes.
Councilman Burke, Councilman Etzel,
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Hunter.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. New business. A, to authorize the town board to refer the pandemic draft titled Public Employer Health Emergency Plan for the town of Woodbury to the unions as required by law. Before we go further, there was one thing in here, actually two things, that was brought to my attention today by the fine staff workers in the supervisor's office. It would be on page 33, Jackie. It says, you have the supervisor, the town supervisor as an essential worker. Then you have the senior town clerk. And then you've got broken up into a lot of things under the account clerk. And I was told today by my account clerks that an account clerk is an account clerk, which is an account clerk. And it does not need to be broken up. So if it could all be under one account clerk, that's how it would need to be written. Because they all do the same job. Everything that's in here, they all do.
So there's no distinction between the.
Correct. The only distinction I would make would be the refuse and supervisor's assistant as one person, basically overseeing refuse and recycling, and to work with the town supervisor.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other one was.
So, just a quick question. So you think you said the refuse clerk and the supervisor assistant should be one position?
No, they can be under the same. They could be under the same heading. You know what I'm saying? As a combined, but then the account clerk, everything gets all put under just one account clerk. There's no breaking it up.
Okay. But the other two should remain separate in case in the future there's different people in those two positions.
Correct.
Though.
Correct.
Okay.
And then the last one is on page 32 under the senior center to take those names out, Michelle Cogan and Shakeen Michelle. What we don't want to do is if any of them leave, now you've got to, update it. It should just be.
That was definitely an oversight.
Yeah, that would be just activity leaders. Yeah.
Because they forwarded that to us, and I think we just didn't pick that up. But we'll put the position in that place. No problem.
Yeah, you don't need to put the names in. Okay, so those are the only two things I have, and I will make the motion to move it forward to the unions unless anybody else has something to say. Okay.
Do you want to explain what this is to the public so they're aware or
sure.
not?
We were Jackie.
Yeah.
Good job. Go right ahead. You did this. And a whole group of other people. I don't want to insult anybody right now, but as a town board member, you were the town board member that ran this. So go ahead. You explain it better.
Okay. So on behalf of myself and the pandemic committee that included the Clara, Desiree, our town clerk, Joey, our parks director, Lieutenant Phillips, and we also had input from Councilman Tom Burke as well as Supervisor Frank Palermo. We were tasked with putting together an emergency plan for the town of Woodbury in the event of a pandemic, just as COVID-19 when it hit our area. So Desiree was able to secure a template that was provided by the Association of Towns during a webinar that both her and myself attended. And in that template, we were required to put in place something that will reflect what the town would want to do in the occurrence of another pandemic, as well as what each town department did this past pandemic with regards to running their department and addressing all safety issues, as well as employee issues. And of course, Desiree, if you want to jump in there to add anything on there, you're more than welcome to, or Clara. But in essence, it's really just our emergency plan in dealing with a pandemic. It's not specific to coronavirus. It would be for any particular pandemic, and putting on paper what exactly we're going to do in response to that.
Okay. So I made the motion. I need someone
But the
to
only
second
thing
it.
I would add,
Okay.
the only thing I would add is this is not, it's for any communicable disease, not necessarily a pandemic. And it's just relating to employees. It's not relating to the public, or, you know, what the response would be as far as handling public situations. It's just for how it would affect the employment of the employees and the continuation of government during these type of situations.
Okay. Thank you. So once again, I made the motion. I need someone to second it.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Tyler. Desiree, please.
Supervisor Palermo,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Yes.
Councilman Etzel,
Yes.
Councilman Mendez,
Yes.
and Councilman Hunter.
Yes.
Okay. Let's move on. I need a motion and a second to authorize the supervisor to sign the maintenance agreement with Stryker. Stryker ProCare Services provides us with the defibrillators to the Woodbury Police Department. And it is the exact same amount that we did in the previous contract. So I need a motion and a second. It is for, by the way, $1,188.
I'll make that motion.
Thank
Oh,
you,
sorry.
Bob.
Sorry.
That's
I'll
okay.
second it.
Thank you. Desiree, please.
Supervisor Palermo,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Yes.
Councilman Etzel,
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilman Hunter.
Yes.
Okay. I need a motion and a second. Excuse me. To accept the resignation of Sergeant Scott Sheehan as a full-time police officer / sergeant. The retirement was effective January 24th, 2021. He's been an officer here for 20 years. In fact, I was on the town board. No, I wasn't on the town board. He came on right after I left the town board. But either way, he's done very well for the town of Woodbury, as exemplary performance. I know that the chief had spoke. He's in another Zoom meeting this evening, and he asked me to pass on the best well wishes for Sergeant Sheehan, and we can only wish them the best in the future. So I'll make that motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Desiree, please.
Supervisor Palermo,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Yes.
Councilman Etzel,
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez,
Yes.
I think Desiree wanted to pause.
No, I said Councilman Hunter. I'm just waiting for him to, unless you didn't hear me.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. That's a yes.
It's okay. Slow
Okay.
internet up at the skyline.
All right. Now I need a motion and a second to accept the resignation of Ali Thusen as a full-time police officer effective February 3rd, 2021. And once again, we wish her the best in her future endeavors, and we wish her the best of luck. And once again, Chief Watson asked me to pass along his best wishes for her as well. So I will make that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Desiree, please.
Supervisor Palermo,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Yes.
Councilman Etzel,
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yeah.
Councilman Hunter.
Yes.
Okay. I do have an added item. If I can find my, okay, it'll go on to old business, I'm sorry. So that's done with that. Let's go on to old business. I'm hearing voices in the background. Now, I don't know if I'm going crazy. Do you guys hear that also?
Yes.
Like I can hear people talking.
What are the voices telling you to do, Frank?
To get out now. Well, anyway, I'm gonna make them. When we did the reorg, and we were doing the what do you call the people who can purchases for the town of Woodbury in the supervisor's office. By accident, somehow, I don't know how, but I had left Lena Barazajani. I'm sorry, Lena, but I can't pronounce your last name. But anyway, we know who you are, and I know who you are. But anyway, I'd like to make a motion to include her as a purchaser for the supervisor's office. So I'm making that motion, and I need a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Tyler. Desiree, please.
Supervisor Palermo,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Yes.
Councilman Etzel.
Yes.
Sorry, I lost track. Councilman Hernandez.
Jackie.
Lost Jackie.
I think she's muted.
Oh, I said yes. I'm sorry.
Thanks. Councilman Hunter.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for old business?
Frank, I just wanted to just speak quickly. I know that as we're in the winter seasons, no one's thinking about the pool, but I wanted to just remind everyone that the board is excited about putting together the new timeline for the construction of the pool. That's starting with finalizing the design, as well as getting the Department of Health approval for the design, and then moving into our bids, hopefully this month, and to finalize the contractor so that we can begin construction. So the pool right now is on task, and we're excited to get that project started.
Jackie,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Frank was touched on his papers and I couldn't hear what you said. The bid process was, you're excited about it this month? Is that what you said?
The board, I said the board is excited that we're going to, that we're going to be going into, we're looking to go into bid sometime this month. as well as getting approvals from the Department of Health. And, upon getting a contractor for the project, we're looking, maybe early spring to get the project going. So we just wanted to give a quick update on that.
And I'd also like to add to what Jackie's saying that I spoke to Al Fusco. So I believe Mr. Supervisor, you should be receiving everything wrapped up from Al Fusco prior to February 15th, prior to going out to bid. He said he was going to send it over for the board to take a look at.
Very good. I'll get in touch with him tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay, let's go on to board comments. Mr. Hunter?
I can't believe Scott Sheehan is retiring. It seems like just yesterday he started 20 years. Man, that's went by fast. Good luck to Scott in your retirement. And Ally, she was a great cop too. And I wish her the best of luck in whatever she decides for her future. And I'm sure she's going to be missed down there. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Tyler?
I'd just like to wish Scott Sheehan the best in his retirement. Hope he finds something he likes to do after that. And Ally in her new endeavors. And I'd like to thank Jackie and the lieutenant and Joey and Desiree for all the hard work that they put in on this pandemic emergency plan. It was a lot of work, and I'm glad they did it.
Thank you.
Want to throw in Clara too.
Especially Clara. Okay, sorry. I knew I had to get somebody.
Jackie?
Yes,
You
sir.
have anything you want to add?
Yeah, so I first wanted to take a moment. I don't want to start it off somber, but I want to take a moment to share my condolences with Frank and with Tracy, our town employees. This has been a rough month. COVID has definitely impacted our families and our friends, and I wanted to extend that initially to our town family. As far as announcements, I wanted to just let the public know that we are going to be having the Woodbury Art Council will be resuming their meets again. February 9th at 7 p.m. We'll be posting a link for the public to be able to attend. We also have our Climate Smart Community Task Force meeting that will be held on February 10th at 7 p.m. There's been flyers circulating. You can go to the town website for that information, and we hope that you join and be a part of being a climate smart community. Again, I wanted to thank the committee members that were part of the pandemic plan for the town of Woodbury. It was a labor of love for everybody. And so we're hoping that it will provide guidance for the future. Hopefully we don't have this again, but if it does. I also would like to thank Councilman Hunter and Desiree, our town clerk, for their hard work on the town employee manual that we're finally wrapping up to be presented to the town board. And also the union, specifically Maxine, as a union rep, she took a lot of her own personal time to go through that and provide guidance and her, input on that, as well as the other union rep and the library. So I just want to thank everybody for their input on that. And lastly, just to thank Sergeant Sheehan and Officer Thusen for the work that they've done, and I wish them luck in their future.
Okay. Deputy Supervisor, Mr. Burke.
Yes, thanks. I want to start by also acknowledging the pandemic committee, Jackie, Desiree, Clara, Joe, Lieutenant Phillips. The job that was done, I did observe the work that they put in It was incredible. They did an outstanding job. So I want to thank them publicly also, and also to Bob and Desiree for what they did for the work that they've been doing. Um, I do want to mention Tracy Maggio, who works with Desiree. I want to wish her the best. Right now, it's a difficult time for her with the passing of her husband, so my thoughts and prayers are with them. Also, of course, Frank, his family suffered a huge loss for the passing of his dad. He lived a long life. I mean, let's face it, he was lucky enough to live a long life. Look at the age of Frank. So he was lucky to live a long life, and I'm glad that for him that he was able to have a father that lived that long. So my condolences are with you and your family too, Frank. Um,
No,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I thought
Okay.
you were done.
No, I'm almost there. I just want to quickly mention that this past week it was one hell of a storm that we all had to deal with, and just want to mention the highway department, the buildings and grounds department, and also the water department for all the staff, everybody that they did for our town and the village. It was a tremendous storm, and they worked very hard for us, and we want to just say I want to say thank you to them. It was brutal. Um, and other than that, for tonight, I think I'll leave it at that. So thanks.
Thank you. Desiree.
Yeah, I just want to say a little something about Anthony Tony Maggio. He was the husband of my deputy town clerk Tracy Maggio. Tony passed away last week. He was a retired police officer with the NYPD 19th Precinct and a member of the Woodbury Community Ambulance for the past 20 years. He and Tracy were married for 34 years, and they have one son named Andrew, and he will be missed by our community greatly.
Thank you. Joe.
My condolences to the Maggio family. My condolences to you, Frank, and your family.
Thank you, everybody. I do appreciate that, and I kind of know what Tracy's going through. So it's not an easy time, but it's all part of life. We come into this world and we go out. And we don't have a choice in that matter. So my dad was a good guy. He taught me everything and led me in the right way, and I thank him for that. And so we'll miss him. We've had a lot of snow, and I just sometimes don't get it, where people will complain to the town about all the snow that's there, and what are we going to do with our garbage, and what are we going to do with our mail, and what are we going to do with this? Folks, you got to be a little patient. This was we got 24 in my backyard. I got on my porch. I got 24 inches when it was all said and done. The highway department and the town were all working together to try to get this stuff removed, and you need to be patient. Your garbage was delayed for a day, and I can't believe how many people called up that they were annoyed that their garbage didn't get picked up. I mean, give me a break, And for those people that live on private roads, you need to make sure that your road is clean. Well, we're not going down it. They're not going to chance getting stuck or something worse. You need to be out there and making sure that your road is passable. We did get a few calls from some people who do live on private roads. And I've got to say the same thing to them, and I'm going to say the same thing to everybody else. And that's your responsibility. It's not the town's responsibility or the village's to clean your roads. And it's your responsibility to clear a space out in front of your home to put your garbage pail, because you can't have it sticking out in the road. You've got to clear that area. And the same with your mailboxes. You need to make it so that they can get in there to deliver your mail. So instead of calling me up to complain, I would suggest that you get out there and you do your responsibility. but we can only do so much for you. So I would appreciate if you did that. Now, I know that they got a contest going on in our parks. Build a snowman. Can't tell me you don't have enough snow to build a snowman now. So why don't you get out there and have some fun? If your driveway and your mailbox is already cleared, you got plenty of time to go out there and build a snowman. So I'd ask that we have some fun with that this year. I know that that was a suggestion of the Parks Department to build snowmen in our town parks and in the area. And I wish you all a lot of fun in doing it. Other than that, I would like to thank our crews out there for handling what needed to be handled. I drove through the town today, and I would say every road basically is passable that's under the village. So as far as the state and the county, so God bless them and thank you. Chief Watson also asked me, because he wasn't here at the last meeting, also to wish Ms. Kathy McHugh a long and enjoyable retirement as well. I mean, you talk about people that have been here for a while. She's been here for a while, and she's done a great job in all those years. So, from Chief Watson to Ms. McHugh, I want to wish you the best and the healthiest of all retirements. Other than that, I don't have much more to talk about right now. We will have a lot to discuss at the next meeting. I have certain meetings set up this week to discuss certain events that people think they're going to be holding in this town, which they're not. But I wish to clarify it with those people that whose properties they think they're going to use, and then I will have a reflection on it. I think most of you know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, I promise you that in 2 weeks, you will hear from me about these events. And other than that, I want to wish everybody a healthy and a safe 2 weeks, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. With that, I need a motion to close.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Enjoy, stay safe.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Night.
Good
Good night,
night.
Joe.